So let's just start out with fixing a small bug I have right now in my program. If you go into the startup file, I've actually gone right now and added the customer right here, but I don't want to do that because again, when I want to create orders, I don't want to create the actual customer. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to here put in customer ID, and then the customer I want to create is just going to grab the customer's ID instead, right? So that's the only fix I need to do. And again, if you understood the last video, this makes sense. If not, go and watch it again. But the most important thing here is to understand the order should not be able to create a customer. He just needs to reference to the customer using the ID, nothing else, right? So that's why I add this here in the startup file. And this is just test data anyway, but I just wanted to show you anyway. So now we have the orders ready again, and you can just test if this works by running the program. And when you do the send, you'll see that instead of the customer ID right here, if that says 0, there's something wrong with your default data or your pre-made data. And actually there you can, it shouldn't say 0, it should say 1, or else there's something not working. That was kind of what I just saw, so that was why I had that bug. Now the reason I noticed this is I want to show you guys the update now. So I'm going into my order service right here, and I want to work with the update because I have a few things in here that's not a-okay right now. And I kind of just added 2 lines down here. I'll explain them to you one by one. So the first thing you need to consider when you do the update is you need to, of course, update everything, right? So you're going to update both the delivery date, the date, and the customer right here, and then you're going to do a complete to update everything. And then you need to kind of consider, before you send this back, do you want to just have the ID available, or would I actually like to have not only the ID, but actually everything available, including the actual customer here? So I could say, if that was the case, I could still use the unit of work. I could say customer repository, and I could say get, and then get the actual customer from this order customer ID right here. This order customer ID really doesn't matter. And then I actually have the real customer. So again, notice how easy it is for me to kind of manipulate my data. And here it kind of complains that I cannot convert customer into the customer business object. That's because I'm putting it on the wrong thing right here. It should be on the order entity. There we go. So now notice what I'm doing here is actually I'm saying this is a choice again. This is a business specific choice. BLL choice right here, how much you want to return. But what I'm going to return now is now actually both the customer ID, but actually also the actual customer when I do an update. Let me try and show you this in action. And this is what this brings us. It gives us so much possibility to choose, depending on the business logic, how we want to do this. It's not the repository's responsibility to choose this, it's us in the business logic layer. Again, the repository is just data, it's just data represented in memory. A database is the persisted data, and we're just representing it in memory in the repository, but now we can kind of decide how much we want to send back and forth. So let's try and do an update, just to also recap on that. We're making a put request right here, and we're going to update this guy right here. And we're just going to grab everything for now, just to show you. We go into the orders, we go into the body. I'm just going to paste everything in here. Now, we need the ID down here. Remember, we made a validation check earlier for that as well. And then we need the ID up here when we do an update. So we have to have them both, and they have to match. Actually, we set that up inside the code. We need to now change, let's just put this into the 10th, and let's put this into the 12th of 2017. We'll change the custom ID into 2. Yes, I do know I have a customer of 2. And I'll remove this guy down here because I don't need it. Okay, so now I've created my object. Notice here it doesn't say anything about the customer because I'm not allowed to change what's inside the customer. I'm only allowed to change the actual customer I'm referencing to, right? Now the thing I just did here in the code was I said, when you get a response back, I want the customer ID, but I actually also want information about the customer. Let's try and send this. Now notice the response is not just the customer ID, it's actually also, because I made that last change in the code, the actual customer object. Now why would I want that? I don't know, maybe I would pop up with a dialog saying, congratulations, you now point to Ole instead of Lars, right? I would get that directly in the request. So just to kind of validate, are you sure that's what you want to do? Yeah, okay, sweet, you did it. Happy days. Or I can roll back somehow and say, no, that wasn't what I wanted, let's just roll it back to what it was before. But that's what you can use the put request for right here, and that's how we can, in the code, right here, I can, after I've made the update, I can actually decide if I want to send more information back in the update. Sweet! Let's continue having more fun.